Welcome to the MSDF podcast / live show. I'm Hung Like a Zombie.
I'm Perfect Batman.
And this is Phoenix Otaku.
And one of our other members is missing tonight, courtesy of work. And his name's Derek.
We are coming to you live from Non-XCon here in Phoenix, Arizona.
Don't even get me started.
It is Expo weekend, unfortunately. None of us are there.
Yes.
Well, like I said, next year we just need to create a website that panders to the Western fan base. Call it ACNN.
Okay, what do y'all want to start with first? Shall we do the spring anime in review?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
Let's rock it.
Okay, well, let me see here.
And then we'll actually get to our top 10 for spring right after we pretty much state our thoughts about the spring season as a whole.
Okay. Okay, I guess I'll go first. Okay, well, first of all, for my top 10, let me see here.
Well, wait, we're holding off on the top 10. We're actually talking about the spring as a general. Like as an entire group, not...
Okay, then we'll do that. Okay.
Then we'll go into the top 10.
Okay.
Wait, are we actually recording right now?
Yeah.
Shit.
Oh well. By the way, people, there will be coarse language and other adult-oriented stuff and everything else, so you've been warned.
So if there are any children listening and your parents are bitching, it's their fault.
Okay, so do you want to start off, Flames?
Yeah. So spring 2014 for me was by far a lot better than it was last year.
I would have to agree.
We had a lot more shows that were not just decent, they were actually pretty good, along with some of the best sequels that I've seen in recent memory.
And I would also have to agree to this.
So, but spring to me this year was pretty much the way the winter season was for me last year.
I think winter for me was good, but it wasn't as good. But yeah, you are right. Like winter last year was, was winter? No, yeah, like winter was good to decent last year. What about you, Timmy?
I enjoyed winter thoroughly, but I did enjoy spring a lot more. Spring had a lot more shows that I actually really liked.
But even
a lot of different shows of the season were, standing out. A lot of spring just like kind of blew my mind with how good it was, as opposed to the winter season, which albeit actually did have good stuff, but actually got beaten by spring by a mile.
Yeah, winter from this year was pretty much my summer of 2013, where it had good shows, but only a few diamonds.
That or like a few of them that were in the rough, sort of.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I guess I'll go next. I think spring for this year, 2014, was frigging amazing. I would have to say that on average, every show that I watched, I gave at least an 8 to, which does not happen very often. There's very few seasons to where you rate at least, like 5, 6 to 8 shows, like an 8 out of 10 or higher. Mm-hmm. Usually it's only around maybe like 2 or 3 that you rate like an 8, or maybe even less. But spring this year was frigging phenomenal.
Yeah.
Hell, even I rated a few shows this season a 9 out of 10. That's kind of rare for me.
Yeah.
However, though, there was one show that was just...
I know which one.
Just was a stopping point.
I'm gonna say it's Mangaka-san.
No.
Really?
Selected Effect that we cross.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot because I dropped that show.
Inagami-san was amazing. And I'll get into that later when we actually do the top 10.
Okay.
But yeah, WeCross was just the giant turd that winds its way through the universe from this season.
I wouldn't say it was a turd. I think truly that they had a lot of good stuff going for it, but the only problem with that show was that nothing really happened with the characters. And the actual fight scenes for when they actually do the battling with their cards from their deck or whatever are great, but they only last like a minute.
Well, it's like I was talking to someone earlier about the show. They were asking if it ever got good, and I told them, well, sadly it doesn't, because the battles are a tease for one.
They are.
And you get halfway through the show and you're just wondering, is anything ever going to happen that advances the plot?
Yeah, it's true.
And then you have the dark twist, which really is... Come on, if you've seen Madoka, you know there are consequences to a wish.
Right, exactly.
So to call that... So to call that a dark twist...
With a twist.
It doesn't.
Alright, fair enough. I believe it's Timmy's turn to talk about spring.
Yep.
I said before, spring, just a lot of good shows. There wasn't really a lot that missed the mark with me. Minus, I really hate saying it, Data Live Season 2 and then Captain Earth. Those have been kind of like... Data Live, I know the reason why it was so short, but it kind of made me mad because it felt like pretty much went nowhere until like the last couple of episodes. And then with Captain Earth, it's a Sunrise mecha anime. You're either going to get action-packed episode for like 12 episodes, 13 episodes, or you're going to get a slow-building action mech series for like 25, 26. And unfortunately, Captain Earth turned out to be the slow builder, which, fortunately, it's taken until about 10 episodes to actually get me interested in the show. So
I probably would have dropped it at that point if it takes that long for stuff to.
Well, it was on and off that it had like a good story. Like eventually, to some point, I'm just like, I'm this far in, I might as well just keep watching. And right now, I'm just still watching, and hopefully by the second half it'll get better. So
not just that, I think like the actual like terminology in it can be confusing sometimes.
Yeah. It's from the guy who did Star Driver, right? If I remember.
I believe it's from the director and like some of his staff, but yes, I believe that is the general answer. Yes.
Which is odd because I really enjoyed Star Driver, and there's so many elements of Star Driver in Captain Earth that you can like tell, especially from like the mecha, what was the Earth engine, and then the one best girl that everyone says is the brown girl. I can't remember her name, but that's why I don't like the show too much. I can't remember any of the character names. She sings during like some of the battles every now and again. I'm like, well, that's. I know it's from the guys who did Star Driver, but that's kind of ripping off your own product there.
Right. And what was your other one that you wasn't too far fond of again?
Data Live Season 2. Briefly mentioned on that. It was
I can state the problem with Data Live when we get to the top 10 because I actually have it in my top 10.
Okay.
Well, with me, Data Live, I was so happy to see the series get a second season because the first season I actually really enjoyed, and then I see season 2, watching season 2, realize that most of the show was filler until you finally meet Miku, and then everything starts to build from there, and then it being only 10 episodes, I know they're going to do another season or movie or well, they're doing a movie, but they might do another season. They're expanding the product. And I know the light novels are still going, but yeah, you got to give us more than just 10 episodes, to be brutally honest, because that 10 episodes didn't do it.
I agree. Okay, shall we move on then to our top 10?
Yep. So the way this is going to work is that we will each state our number 10 show. Then after that, we'll go to our 9,
8,
and then
7,
so on
and
until we
6.
get to number
Okay.
1.
All right, fair enough. Sounds good.
So starting off with the zombie over there.
All right, then I'll start first. First of all, I want to say that I watched. How many actual shows did I watch this season? I watched 12. Okay, and I'll start from. Well, no, this is top 10. So we'll go from 10 to 1. At number 10, we have Day Day Live. Like Timmy said, over half the show was filler, which was disappointing. But the last 3 episodes were really, really good.
My number 10 was Soul Eat or Not. Turned out to be a really good show, and enjoyed it. A lot of missed episodes there. Like, there's some episodes that are like, that was okay, or that could have been better. But all in all, it got to be 10 because most recently seeing the ending for it being the super, super happy ending. So,
And not
which is
being
what I
a
expected.
friendship beats everything.
Yeah, not friendship, it's magic power punch that Maka gave the Kishin.
Oh god, dude, I hate that episode. I hate that ending. Okay, sorry about that.
So anyway, for my number 10, this was a show that when it started out, just almost died laughing. Had so much potential, but then there was just things that ruined it for me. And it is number 10, Mangaka-san to Assistant-san. Now, I will admit, this was a good show, and it had a great ending, but it got away from the comedy there near the middle of the show.
Right.
And it really felt like it was trying to go serve a next service for a while.
Yeah. I would have to agree. I think that the middle of the show is definitely the worst part about the show. But I do agree. The last 4 episodes were excellent.
Yeah.
Especially to where like, especially to where Senna gets to suck on what's his name's like nipple. It's just pure comedy and it's hilarious.
And then the mascot that they have, freaking cat wearing a bra on its head.
Oh yeah, I think his name was Branya, wasn't it?
Branya, yeah.
I love that mascot.
And then you have
real original.
And then you have Sentai's new mascot, which is Pants-kun.
Pants good.
So anyway, yeah, that's my top 10. So moving on to Zombies number 9.
And my number 9 is, or did I say mine or 9? I think I said 9.
My number 9. Number 9.
Alright, so number 9 is Hitsuga no Chaika. And and the only reason why it's this low on the actual list is because it continues on into another season. And so that doesn't come out until the fall season, so I'm sure it'll move up in the overall, like rankings and stuff like that. But overall though, I think it's the first time to where I actually watched an adventure show in a long time, like a real adventure show. And I really enjoyed it. Like when it's got really good animation by Bones, and Bones has been doing pretty decent this year. They had Space Dandy.
Really have.
Of course they had
Dandy Guy in Space.
They also had Captain Earth, and now they have what else? And they had Soul Eat or Not too, didn't they? I think they animated that too.
Maybe, I think.
I could have swore they did, but anyway, point being, like it's a really good show, and and I can't wait for the fall season so that way I can see the second. And next is off to Pervy's number 9.
Number 9. This actually started to be a real underdog for me this season. I had no expectation for this anime, but number 9, Nanana's Buried Treasure. Wow, is what I can say about this show. This was my sleeper hit this season. I was very surprised. The show took to about 5 episodes for me to get into. And eventually, as it started building from there, it was only 11 episodes long. So watching this show, I'm like, wow, this has gotten better with every episode after episode 5. You know, the constant playing of, like, the puzzle games to find Nana's, of course, buried treasure to complete her treasure quest or something like that, if I remember. Turns out to leave off with a bit of a weird twist ending. So maybe, you know, fingers crossed we'll get another season to explore more of the characters and go in more in-depth with what's going on with Nana and everybody.
Okay.
Now my question is, did they find the treasure yet?
Oh my gosh, man, this is going to lead to Attack on Titan joke, isn't it?
No.
No, they found it faster than Aaron found his dad's basement. I'll put it that way.
So they found it faster than the One Piece. If you're talking treasure, you have to go One Piece.
The thing is, it's not just one big thing of treasure. It's a different sequence of items that Nananad's left buried around, like, you know, their island as when she was actually alive. She's actually a ghost. And they can go out and search for these specific items in order to find out what Nanana's one wish is for her, you know, to either A, pass on, or B, stay with, I forget the kid's name, but stay with her roommate. But we haven't gotten to that point as of yet, but I'm hoping if we get another season we can explore that a little bit more.
Okay.
Right, so, with my number 9, this is a show, it's another short one that's actually still going into the summer season. It's what I like to call Gainax's last shot at an anime. And this is Mahou Shoujo Taisen, which phenomenal show. If it would be a lot higher if it was a lot longer. If it was a 24-minute anime that had 4 episodes, it would be a lot better than 26 episodes of 4 minutes.
Yeah, man, that's a lot of episodes for that short amount of time.
Yeah, I'm also watching that too, and I'm kind of disappointed in Gainax. I really thought it was going to be a 24-minute, 26-episode series, but they decided to just do, like 4 to 7 minutes each episode.
Yeah, and the new girl that they introduced 3 weeks ago looks a lot like Satsuki. I'm just saying.
She does, and she also has, like, a Kamen Rider gimmick to her, too, which is strange, because, before her was Power Glove Girl, I think.
No, that was... The one before her was the girl that had the bird that looked like Detta.
Oh, yeah, so...
Power Glove was second.
Yeah, because Power Glove was the best character, though, in that series.
So, yeah, that's my number 9. It could have been a lot better if it was a lot longer. So now time for Zombies number 8.
All right, anime. My number 8 anime is Kenzen Robo Damidala. Anime. When I first saw the trailer for this, I looked at it and I was like, this show looks like shit. And then I was all like, well, you know what? This might actually be a really good parody. And so I gave it the benefit of the doubt once I had seen that the director of High School D&D was directing it and some of his crew. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to give this a shot. And thank God I did. This has turned out to be a really, really good show. And it's not meant to be taken seriously at all. There's a lot of parodies, like dick jokes and boobage and everything, and some nice crude humor, and there's even ejaculation in here, surprisingly. But like, it doesn't take itself too seriously, and it has fun, and it feels like a really good, fun, old school, like mecha, like robot anime from like the 80s, and I absolutely love it.
One thing I will say about that is the character design looks school days.
It does.
It does. It really does.
But in some way, though, like High School and D&D does too, to a point.
I mean, though with Diamond Dollar, it's definitely got probably the catchiest opening of the season.
Yes, it does. It has like the best, or in my opinion, the best opening of the whole actual spring season.
Until you get that one part stuck in your head over and over and over again.
Mirada, 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 mirada. Yeah, that part.
And it keeps running and running and running and running and running. It's like the Energizer Bunny of anime.
Once you've heard that for the third day in a row, that single part is just like, I do not want to hear this song.
You just want to like break your own neck like Peter does when Lois invites him to come to their reading party. Okay.
For a second, I honestly thought you were going to go talk about J-List there when they're next to the lightsaber booth.
Oh, yeah. But anyway, guys, that was my number 8, and now is number 8 for Pervy.
Number 8. The reason why this is so low is it's going to keep running. It's a 4 core, so it's going to run all year long.
Oh, yeah.
I really hate putting it this low because it's going to run that long, and there's a reason I have it this low. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Stardust Crusaders.
And that's because right now we're going through nothing but filler.
Right now, where we are in this series, we're not too far into the manga. We just got past the guy with the car stand, and that's why it's kind of this low, because we haven't exactly gotten to the good things yet. There's a lot more good things later on in the story. I've read the manga, and I understand why it's 4 core. It's going to be a long time before we even get to the last fight with Dio. So, only reason why I have it at number 8 is because it's going to run so long. This is legitimately the longest anime I will be watching this year.
So, in all reality, it's probably about what, like a spot higher or two, other than the fact that it's going to run for so long. Or am I right in the long run?
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with this show. The OP is amazing.
Yes.
The character designs are so well done. The animation looks great. The voice actors are phenomenal. I'm kind of upset it's getting a dub, though.
Oh, no!
But it does not mean I will not watch it.
It's time for Automobile to make his way.
That's part 2.
Cars.
That's the whole. I mean, everything. Even the ED. The EDs walk like an Egyptian. I mean, you're not gonna get comedy anywhere else like that for JoJo's. And and if this means running a whole year's worth of Stardust Crusaders just so we can get to part 4 faster, I'll be happy with it.
By the way, the greatest route to get to Egypt.
Yeah, no joke. Just all these loop-de-loops going around through like the ocean and just to get to Egypt when they could have just taken a plane to one destination and then gone. But hey, anime.
And the Ora through Russia.
Yeah.
So number 8 for me, and this was a good show, and just like with JoJo's for Pervy, I kind of hate to put this low, but it was another short series. It was Inagama-san to Nekoyama-san. By far the weirdest first episode, as in terms of trying to figure out what this is about, even though you know what it's about. It's about this woman who acts like a dog, who loves cats, and this other woman who looks like a cat that loves dogs. So, naturally, Yuri connection, and they just go on a lot of bizarre, normal day adventures, not to mention JoJo's. And then all of a sudden, next thing you know, you meet other girls that one's supposed to be a monkey, another's supposed to be a rat, basically the Chinese zodiac or whatever. If it's an animal, they have a character for it. But good, short show. If you like Yuri, which we get a lot of this season, this year, I definitely say check it out.
All right.
So, on to number 7.
And my number 7, how should I say this? It kind of hurts to put it a little bit lower than what I had it, but I can't get over the ending a little bit, and that's what. And the number 7 is Goku Koku no Brynhilder, and this show is so good. And then the very last ending, at the very ending.
Well, leave me something to talk about when I get to it.
I don't want to spoil for anybody, but the very ass end of it is a little bit bullshit. And overall though, like, it was a really good show. I think it was directed by the guy that did Elfen Lied, if I'm right.
Yes, that's right.
And like, it definitely has well, not as dark as Elfen Lied, but it is pretty dark though. It has
super edgy, super edgy.
Super edgy, man.
I'm saving all my comments until I get to it.
I'm a, how should I say it? Has pretty good voice acting, except for the male dudes when he cries. He has like the fakest cry. I'm sorry. But but other than that though, like it's a pretty good kind of like a thriller show with like, well, I'll leave the rest for Timmy. Or Pervy. When he gets to it, if it's in his top 10. But anyway, that was my number 7, and on to Pervy's, number 7.
My number 7 is actually your number 8, Diamond Dollar. I actually rated this higher because I really did not think I was going to enjoy this show.
Such a good show.
As I started watching it, I'm like, dude, this is actually getting good. I'm actually really interested. I want to see what's going to happen next. Like, I wonder how they're going to top themselves, in the next episode with all the lewdness of the show.
Yes.
And I mean, let me put it in standards of lewdness for you here. We have a short, blonde-haired lolly girl named Recount Seaberry. Okay? Then there's the Penguin Empire. They have front tails.
Yes.
In order to get her high aero particles going, she humps one of their front tails. Okay? The show is what Zombie pretty much said. It's ridiculously funny. It's kind of like a nod to a lot of the old mecha shows, especially with the way Diamond Dollar's released. That's such an Ava reference. It's ridiculous. With just the constant building of each of the characters, and then, kind of halfway through, you lose the 2 main characters that you start with, you get 2 new ones who aren't as good, but then they came back, and Ritz becomes like the best girl in the series at some point, and, the Penguin Empire, and,
the Penguin Empire.
It's just a ludicrously funny show. I mean, it's definitely worth the watch. And, number 7, I give it credit. It makes my top 10, but I know there's 6 more shows that are actually still better than that.
Alrighty. On to you, Lane.
So, number 7 for me, and this is a show that the farther it went on, the better it got. And it almost cracks the top 10 for the overall 2014. It's at number 11 for 2014, but it's Soul Eater not. Now, when I heard that they were making an anime for this, I was just ecstatic. It was just like when I heard they were making an anime for Watamote. I had owned the manga. I read the first one before the anime came out. Then I got the second one. Overall, well animated, except for a couple of fights where certain people are floating inches off the ground. But it didn't get as dark as I would want it to.
Well, I think it got a lot more darker than what the actual show was letting on. I thought it was just going to be purely like slice of life.
Well, yeah, and that's another reason why I got a lot of hate from people, which I saw no reason for. But that ending, I only had one problem with it, and it was kind of the power of friendship they used to break Mei's. I don't want to spoil it, but to pretty much undo Mei.
Right.
Yeah, well, I kind of predicted that. I knew that was kind of coming because I know all 3 of them loved each other to that point where, like, we're all friends. The power of our, love for each other should, break this curse. Not to make it sound like a Yuri anime, which I don't know if it really was.
There was a scene at the very end that was Yuri.
Yeah, there was.
Yeah, but when you transfer an antidote to somebody that's moving around with like a giant stabber thingy, how else are you gonna do it?
And if anybody dares say that that's a ship right there, no. I'm sorry.
The ship is Anya and Tsugumi.
Yes.
I'll ship all 3 of them. I don't care.
Though Mei, she was my favorite.
I didn't care that much for Mei personally, but she was still a really good character though.
I just liked her since I read the manga. She turned out fantastic in the anime. It was great to see some of the characters from Soul Eater before they were in Soul Eater, like Patty and Liz.
Oh.
Stein. Just the entire cast that was in Soul Eater, just to see how they were.
Also, personally, my favorite girl in that show, I'm sorry, is Jacqueline. She is frigging adorable.
Jacqueline X Kim.
I'll ship that. I'll definitely ship that.
By the way, I love the fact that the last phrase used in that show was Gigantus.
Yes.
So anyway, that's my number 7. On to Zombies number 6.
And my number 6 is JoJo's Stardust Crusade.
JoJo's.
Yes. Stardust Crusaders. And my opinion on the show is, like, it certainly would be higher, but as Pervy has already said, it's going to be a long time before the show ends. And everything that Timmy has said is pretty much what I would have said. So this is going to be a fast number 6. And on to Pervy's number 6.
Well, my number 6, actually, as much as I really don't want to put it at number 6, especially after the ending this past Tuesday.
Oh, no.
Black Bullet comes in at number 6. It unfortunately fell this far because there was just 5 more anime better than it. Not taking away anything from Black Bullet. The story was fantastic. The characters were good. You know, just the whole action sequences and just the last episode completely blew my mind with what happened. And in all honesty, I will be so sad this is not getting another season because it will be totally worth it. I mean, this is definitely, wow. This series was so out there at first because, the whole, little girls having power, and, them having, their friends, and just, it was a weird situation, and then eventually, that was my fucking phone. I'm professional.
I hate all these lolly girls. This show is sick.
That's the unfortunate part of this show is that it got so much hate that it didn't really deserve. The show was well written, even with the ending being as kind of dark as it was.
Yeah,
it was fitting for this show. It's definitely fitting for the show. That's really all I can say about it. Is that it was just a really good show. I found no problems with the show sometimes.
But it seems that everybody that's hating this show is no offense to Shaft fans. I like Shaft, but every person that I see that yells and screams at it either has Bakemonogatari or Nisekoi in their top 5, and I'm sorry, but those I think are overhyped. And so if y'all don't like lollies, there's nothing really sexual about the lollies in that show anyway. And I think everyone takes it a little bit too seriously with the lolly thing. And there's no point to where you feel disgusted or anything at all, other than when something bad happens or anything. But other than that, sorry about that, Lane. I didn't mean to interrupt you right there.
So anyway, on to my number 6, and this did drop because of the end, which, just trying to read the manga from the point that the anime ended, you can't do this. But my number 6 is Goku Koku no Evangelion Breinhilder.
It's Goku Koku no X-Men.
Well, it depends on what you watch. When you're watching the first opening, it's no X-Men. But when you're actually watching the series, it's Evangelion because of the fact of you have Sele in there, you have the Human Instrumentality Project, you have the guy who's doing this to bring back the woman he loves. The only thing you're missing is his whiny little son that wants to have sex with a clone of his mother.
Or a comatose redhead.
I almost said Katori for a minute.
What is this white stuff? Daddy?
But that ending just...
I agree, man. Dude, they brought everybody back, but they didn't bring Katori. I was like, what is this bullshit?
One thing that I hated is that everybody forgot Nanami. And I'm not talking about the people in the anime. I'm talking about the actual audience. And I know she was only in 3 episodes until she became the ghost, and then she was in it. But...
yeah, she became Patrick Swayze.
But she was a part of that show. She was one of my favorite characters, and the fact that it's a little funny that people forgot her, even though her one wish was that she didn't want people to forget her.
Yeah, that's true.
But
that I do think about it.
Number 6, though, Goku Koku no Evangelion Breinhilder. And now into the top 5.
It's the top 5.
The top 5. Anyway, my top 5 is I know you guys are probably gonna kick me from like 10 feet away, right, dead square in the nuts for this, but this show really saved its own ass, and I'm glad because it turned out to be a great show in the end, and that is Love Live Season 2, or Love Live School Idol Project, 2nd season.
I have so much to talk about that when I actually get to it.
That's why I'm gonna leave it short on my end, because I know that you and Timmy will just talk it up. I mean, like, it's pretty. I would have to say that I was a little bit disappointed in it, mainly because there was a lot more filler in this show than there was last season, from what I remember.
Well, if you look at it, the filler, it was generally the same from last year. The only thing that last year is that they were still trying to recruit people through the filler. This year they didn't have anything to really do during the filler.
Yeah, I think that's probably why I didn't care for it as much. But but overall though, it was still a really great season. I still gave it a 9 out of 10. And well, you know what? I haven't even been telling everybody what I've been giving these, other than them being in the top 10. Either way.
Well, now that we're in the top 5, you can start doing that.
But yeah, top 5. I'm for Love Live Season 2. I gave it 9 out of 10, and I'm gonna let the other two guys here talk it up here because I'm sure it's higher up on their list.
I'm gonna wait until I get to mine, just so I can talk to it up a lot.
And with that number 5, we move on to Pervy.
Number 5, probably the most recent memory. The amongst the two other anime I look forward to on Sundays, Haikyuu.
Yes. Oh, why don't you have this higher? It's so good.
This show, personally, I love the show. I started watching this and I figured, this is a good sports anime. I don't know if it's going to actually crack my top 5 or top 10 at that. And at some point, it actually was not in my top 10 or 5 at all. But as I slowly started watching it, just every week, each episode got better than the last. Teaching it, pretty much them teaching you how to play volleyball, what the positions were, all their the games they played, like the young kids against the old guys, and then their most recent episodes against their war. It was what I could call it, a war against the other school called Nekoma.
Yes, the Battle of the Dump.
It was the garbage dump.
Yes, the garbage dump.
It's the battle that they had. It was ridiculous. Even though they lost, they played about 5 to 6 more times. Every time they lost, they got a little bit more closer to beating it. And it just makes me super happy to see this, because there's still a whole good chunk of this show left where they're gonna play in the regionals, and then they're gonna go and play in the whole tournament thing to where they'll beat all the other high schools, and fingers crossed they get to the final against Nekoma and it goes really well for them. But
yeah, that is true. But I think one of the greatest strong points of this whole show are the characters, because every character in this show is different. And they all have a reason for playing, and to what their sort of not necessarily fears are, but what their weaknesses are and stuff and all that stuff. And they always back one another up. It's nothing really broski either, other than maybe a few times. But that's half of why the show is so good, is because the characters are so different, and they're all I can't stress this enough. Every character is different in this show, and they're interesting.
Yeah, each character, the character they're just everything. The character development in the show is ridiculous. I mean, each time you meet someone new, or every time you see the other guys, and they talk about them, and just build up their character, and you see why they want to play volleyball, and just the whole thing about eventually them learning teamwork is how to win, and personally, I want to say this is probably the best sports anime I've seen in quite some time. And that's saying something, because I really loved Eye Shield and I really loved Big Wind Up.
You need to watch Hajime no Ippo. It's so good.
I don't know about Ippo, but Haikyuu is personally one of the best ones I've seen in recent memory. I mean, this takes everything that a sports anime should be and just makes it better. And I look forward to this next half because it's just going to get better from here.
One thing I will say before I get to my number 5 is when I first saw like a promotional poster for Haikyuu, I seriously thought it was about basketball.
Really?
Yes. At first.
I can see that.
But we already have Kuroko no Basket.
Yeah, it's a thing. Haikyuu's nowhere near as broski as Kuroko no Basket is.
Yeah, but
we probably won't see bomb threats in Japan about Haikyuu.
Koyani, if you make this swimming anime, we're gonna kill all of you.
Well, I was talking about Kuroko no Basket.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, that's right. Because
they threatened the author.
Yeah, they did. I was about to say the author got threatened.
So anyway, my number 5, and I know you guys have only seen like 1 or 2 episodes of this, but this is one of 3 sequels I have on this list. This is one that you don't even have to watch the first season; you can just jump straight into this, and it is Puchimas Petite Idolmaster.
Ah, yes.
Those are being in the top 5.
Yes, the pose of everything. And now that it's over, all the Puchimases are doing the pose of unemployment. But it was just a great show that just makes smaller versions of the idols and just gives them these strange things to do. Like Haruka-san, who can change her size and multiply when touched by water, depending on how she feels.
Well, what the hell is she, man? A gremlin?
Pretty much.
Except you can feed her. No, Actually, no, I'm wrong. If you feed her after midnight, her eyes turn red, her ties turn upside down, and her head starts spinning.
What the hell?
The only way to undo it is to take out the hair clips, turn them back, and put them back on.
Okay.
How random the show is. I mean, from what Lane has showed me, just the few episodes that I've seen, it's gotten me to laugh each time because it's just so out there. It's a little weird. Even though like I'm not too big of a fan of the Idolmaster series, I would definitely give both season 1 and season 2 a watch because this just seems like the comedy aspect of Idolmaster that wasn't in the actual show. That would, I mean, bringing Poochies into the factor too, it just made it all the better because the Poochies are absolutely hysterical about what they do in their daily life.
And it's funny because the last episode they actually sing. They have a mini petite concert at the very end.
Go figure. The best parts about this show, and just, I mean, how ridiculously funny it is. I mean, there's the point where there's the word game going around, and the one girl can't say R's, and like the whole time the Poochies were trapped on the island, and then like the whole Pee-wee's Big Adventure breakfast machine to just say happy birthday to Ami and Mommy.
I was about to take a shot at Japan right there.
Don't forget to take Poochie Rock Paper Scissors.
Oh yeah, Poochie Rock Paper Scissors, which doesn't make sense because Poochies don't have hands, but
the one thing I will say about this before I even get to Love Live is that this ended within 12 hours of Love Live, and I watched the final episode of this right after Love Live, and that just even depressed me more because of how depressed I was from Love Live. And I literally thought that it was going to be 5 episodes left, and then all of a sudden it's like, nope, sorry, this is the end. You're breaking my heart here. So anyway, number 5 for me, Puchimas Petite Idolmaster, and we're now into number 4.
The pose of number 4.
And my number 4 is Mahoka. If y'all don't know about
Best
this
opening.
show, yes, it does have the best opening.
It's definitely got one of the better openings this season.
Yes, this show right now is getting so much shit, mainly because they don't like the main character in here, and
He looks too much like Lelouch, that's why.
No, man. Like,
Tetsuya is a boss. Are you kidding me?
Dude, man, like, he is, man. Like, Tatsuya is a boss. And everyone hates him because he's like, man, this guy can do everything. And everyone's like, no, man, he's a Gary Stu, man. Screw this, man.
Well, what it is that they're upset that they can't be him, because he can do literally everything. He can make the best possible products for the magicians in that series.
But, like, the thing is, though, is that, like, he doesn't flaunt his power or his anything, man. Like, he's a pretty chill dude. And, and everyone...
Exactly. He's not an asshole about it.
Right, exactly.
He's not shoving it down your throat.
Right, exactly, man. And everyone's giving him so much crap. And I'm thinking to myself, man, like, you guys are acting like this one other character in here that is such a butthurt little bitch. That Tatsuya is considered to be popular among everybody, among the Blooms, which are the top tier students, and then the Weeds, which are the lower grade students. And,
oh, you mean the guy from episode 13?
Yeah, man, he's all like, "I'll show him."
Because Tatsuya's better than me, so I'm gonna try to destroy him otherwise.
Yeah. And dude, no, seriously, dude, that's literally like 75% of the people watching this show, and I'm like, why are you still watching this show, man? With the amount of tears you guys have been crying, I can fill up a friggin' Olympic-sized swimming pool. Dude, that would last, dude, all those tears would last me for forever, man, as my lube.
Really quick, when I first saw this, I'm like, so I take it they made this because of the fact that they weren't going to make a season 3 of Code Geass?
It's true.
But yeah, Mahoka, I actually fell out of my top 10 because technically I watched it out of the season. So.
But like, what do you call it? Like, he does have a weakness, man. Like,
his sister.
No, well, it's not even really his sister.
If you want another thing to bitch about.
But
right.
But like, he fears her mother though, and we have no clue how powerful this woman is, but it's shown for like a glimpse to that, like, no one steps on her shadow, if I may say that.
Please don't tell me she's full of life fibers.
No.
I was just about to say that.
But I know he has a weakness because at the very end of this last episode, we meet the one dude that really looks like Lelouch. You know, that's from the third high school.
Suzaku.
Yeah, man. We finally really get introduced to him in this latest episode, and I was like, oh
Suzaku.
boy, shit's about to go down. Anyway.
Does he have a fish with him?
No. But he has this bowl cut a kid that is always with him and shit. I don't know what this kid does other than he gives him like analysis. Anyway, that's enough of Mahoka, or of Mahoka, sorry, and we'll go on to Pervy's number 4.
My number 4. As much as it was low on everyone else's list, it made my top 5. Goku no X-Men, Brent Hilder. Not gonna lie, I really, really enjoyed this show. The one thing that caught my eye first to watch the show was ARMS did the animation, or was the studio that put it out.
Alright.
I think they did the animation too. I don't know. Watching this show, I had no idea what it was going to be. I figured, hey, it might just be kind of like a sad kind of slice of life anime to be, just trying to find the one girl, or trying to regain Kuroha's memories throughout the entire series. Boy, was I fucking wrong. This show got dark so fast, it was ridiculous. I was like, whoa, what am I watching now? Because this is not the anime I was kind of expecting. This anime just went from, just this kind of, good time, occasional bad guy thing to...
I was about to say, man, like, it went from Frito to Dorito.
Yeah.
Hey, no mentioning Johnny Manziel here. This is an anime podcast.
This is an anime podcast.
But, yeah, it took a whole different direction than from what I was expecting it to be. And with the way it ended up, I was happy because my favorite character survived. So,
Which one was your favorite anyway?
God, I know she's my favorite. I'm gonna kick my ass right. I cannot remember her name right now. It's the pink-haired one who had
Kazumi.
Kazumi, yeah. She had the Professor X freaking thing to where she would jack into like a computer and hack anything in the world. But because she turned out to be best girl because she's the only one in that show that put her feelings on the table for that wimp of a main character, and he just said no. And brutally honest, if I would have been that guy, she wanted that badly, wanted to do that badly, that would have been no problem for me. Because
give her the
it doesn't
D.
matter if she had a flat chest, anything, I don't care. She was still freaking pretty.
Well, you can't mention her breast or else she'll kick you in the face.
Exactly.
I mean, I know they're not worth that much.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if she had a big chest. Doesn't matter if she had a small chest. She's still pretty. And be honest, this guy is like the wimpiest character of the season. I was so like blown away. I'm like, dude, you had a prime opportunity. At some point, you know you're gonna die. Coming in like the weeks ahead of you, what's going on with the witches and everything. Take that opportunity. Don't die. Don't die without, at least hitting one of them, like hitting that on one of those girls. I mean, I know it sounds a bit weird because, one of the girls is in a wheelchair and can only talk with a voice box, but, if he's too much of a wimp, I don't even think he would have taken it from, like, the voice box girl. There's no way.
All he would have taken it from was Kura Haneko.
Yeah,
no, man, like, that right there.
Because he wanted to see her breasts so bad to find those 3 moles, which were non-existent in the entire show.
I like her. Well, man, I like her a lot, but I think one of the main reasons why I like Katori a lot is mainly because of her voice actor, too. Not to mention, she's adorable, and she had... I don't know her voice actor, but, like, her voice is the voice of Fino.
Yeah.
Couldn't
become a hero, so he became, like, a part-timer.
Yeah, and I know Lane hates that fucking show, but I love
You
it.
should be a hero, so I decided to take part in a bad anime.
That's the next anime that Funimation's picking up.
Yeah.
But
that's right. I love that show.
My favorite, like I said, was Nanami. And one thing I'm surprised we all looked over, that ending was just as bad as the second opening.
I like the second opening as a song in itself.
I don't like the second opening. Well, the fact that it doesn't fit the show, I mean, that whole, like, little, that actually fit the show pretty well. But the second opening just being, techno... Yeah, techno-wise, a techno-wise hardcore band. And I get the idea, haha, your name's Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Good, who cares? That song was not suited for that show. Someone should have been fired for that, putting that in there. And I mean, it's the fact that they put the new opening in there halfway through the series.
Over halfway.
Yeah, like it was like episode 8 it changed.
No, it was 10.
Why do that? Just keep the same opening. What went through their heads? Hey, let's change the opening in episode 10. But beyond, like, everything, all the little plot points, it still makes number 4 for me because it was just a good story. I really enjoyed it. It was something original. It was something out there, super edgy, as I've been heard it being called. It's worth the watch.
So, number 4 for me, and I know you'll probably disagree with me on this, but it's the second of 3 sequels from this year, and mostly it was the last 3 episodes that actually put it this high. It would Data Live Season 2. The first 2 episodes of that were just, God, what am I watching? This is nothing like the first season.
I mean, that's what it was for the first, 4 to 5 episodes, man, for me.
Well, when they got to episode 3 and 4 and the twins started fighting and all that, it was like, okay, this is sort of a return. And then all of a sudden, yeah, anyway, you're saying?
I figured you would have had it lower because I know you and I are Kurumi guys. So, I mean, with Kurumi barely coming up in this show at all.
Yeah.
Toka, best girl.
Please. But
Like,
then all of a sudden you meet Miku, who's, of course, an idol because Hatsune Miku, you have to name her after that.
One of the worst character traits ever in anime and in real life that I
she's a
hate.
man-hater.
Oh my gosh.
But at the very end, though, she redeemed herself.
Yes,
and
she did.
became tied for my second favorite with Toka. Toka became tied for my second character with that inverse of her. I love that inverse.
Dude, man,
Like,
Toka's a friggin' boss, dude, when she goes inverse.
But that first seven, my main problem with this, and Pervy brought this up a minute ago, was the fact that there was no Kurumi. And I was like, okay, this is like season 1. We didn't get her until pretty much the end. But my main problem was the fact that at the very end of episode 1, she's right there saying, I'm going to defeat the first spirit. And then we don't see her until episode 7 when she's going through Miku's stuff and finding her huge-ass bra and all that. And then when we finally see
Man, that
her
was
fight
7? I thought that was like 10 or 11. Oh, no, wait a minute.
No.
I forgot that we had 10 episodes. I forgot.
But we finally get to see her fight, and it was just like, oh my god, yes. And then you see Mana come back and fighting Jessica, who's just...
Going bonkers.
Yeah, when I was like, she better die. And then Tobi Ichi just... she went into this season being my second favorite behind Kurumi, but she's knocked down to 4. But I really feel bad for Yoshino and Katori fans this season.
Poor Yoshino.
She's too busy watching her daytime soaps.
Yes.
I just can't wait for the third movie. Well, for the movie, which should be season 3, but watch it be a recap because, haha, joke's on you.
Joke's on you.
So, anyway, number 4, Date Alive season 2. And into the top 3.
It's the top 3.
The top 3.
It's the top 3 at 10.
Okay, and my number 3 is Haikyuu. And pretty much what Pervy has said is pretty much exactly what I would have said. This show is just absolutely spectacular. And we're only halfway through this show, might I add. But everything that he's went over is pretty much true. Characters are great character development, great animation, good art, what do you call it, like good story, lots of interesting characters, and we're not talking like 4 or 5 characters, man, there's like good supporting characters too in here that reach into like, I think around like 10 to 12 characters in total, and you learn a lot about a lot of these people, even the side characters. Oh, and one of the best girls this season, I think, for looks-wise and everything, to where she looks like she's, like, wife material, is the manager. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Is she hot.
Waifu ready?
Oh, my gosh.
She's Takemaka already.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, let's not forget that the OP and the ED make you want to get up and go play fucking volleyball.
Yeah, both the opening and endings are amazing, but the ending, I think, is better, though, than the opening.
Yeah,
The
I
ending
mean,
is
they both
phenomenal.
make you want to get up and just go to like your nearest park and play some volleyball.
I agree.
No matter how out of shape you are.
Really quick, when we get to the AN, when we get to, not the AN, we get to the AX section, I have some breaking news from J-List to announce when we get there.
Okay, cool. Alright, and so pretty much that's my number 3, and on to Pervy with his number 3.
Number 3. Are you ready to count down? Because there's no way left to run out. Kuma no Riddle, number 3. I know a lot of people at this point just be like, oh!
I was hoping you would have had that at number 2.
there's two animes better than that, let me tell you. But still, Akuma no Riddle, another one of the animes that I really got interested in early on because of just what the description had said. And as I watched the show, I wasn't too sure what was going on, but then I started to pick up on it, and as it went more and more, it's a shame that the show was only 12 episodes, because I really hoped that I would run more. This show got so good. I mean, just the battle between Tokaku and every freaking assassin in that school, or then finding out, at the end that, Haru was like the queen of the school or whatever. Just the different ways that this show was so, the background stories you got for each character, it was so good. And each of the characters actually having their own ED was really cool too. I mean, the OP, props to Maya Uchida, because wow, she really, first I really thought it was like the Kushida Koyuda and the Akebusha Rockets. It was not. And the more I listened to that OP, the more I got hyped for this show, because each week that OP led you into just what was one of the better animes of this season, in my opinion. And I know a lot of people complain about the ending and everyone being alive, and I can agree to some extent. It didn't make sense, but did we really want an ending to where everyone was just dead? Would that be any better than what the ending was with everyone being alive? I mean, I just gotta ask that. I actually thought the ending was, if anyone had been dead at the end, I would have been just kind of upset about that. But with everyone being alive, I know it didn't make a whole lot of sense. I know at least everyone got their own happy ending in a way, which is, just good. It's a good way to end a show. I mean, beyond just the character, character development and the art in the show was super good, and just the action was super good, the story was good. That's why it made number 3 for me.
Leave me nothing to talk about, and the reason why I wish you had this at number 2, because number 3 for me is Akuma no Riddle.
Great minds think alike.
So anyway, I pretty much have nothing to say because of that last. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Timmy.
But yes, Akuma no Riddle, at first, I didn't watch it when it first came out. I got into it after episode 7.
Thanks to this guy.
Yep, thanks to Pervy.
You mean, what's really funny is that I'm the one that turned you guys onto this, and yet after episode 3, I'm the one that actually stopped watching this show.
Yeah, you also recommended Wheatcross, too.
Yeah, no, man, that was a mistake. Well, dude, because the first episode was great. But anyway, back to the point.
But anyway, and then people are like, and I'm mostly going off of what Zombie told me his reason for dropping this was, is that wasn't a lot of action based on the opening, when really the series actually did look like the opening. One person fighting Tokaku, who's protecting Haru, each week, except for a couple where 2 people die, well, one where 3 people die. But this was just such a great series. And to me, episodes 6 and 7 were by far my 2 favorites. Mostly because of the fact that episode 7 focused on my favorite character, Suzu. And then
best girl.
Second best for me. That fight at the end with her, Tokaku, is just amazing.
Yeah.
I don't know why I almost said god awful. But episode 6...
I think you were thinking of Wheatcross.
Oh my god, Selector infected awful. But episode 6, though, that ending with just those 2 girls, everyone thinking it's a play, it was just I know you're not supposed to be rooting for the assassins, but these two were cool. Also, another great point, like Purdy mentioned, was just different characters having an ending in the show, which you never see anything for. Instead of one continuing ending, it's always just, well, it's always a different character getting their own ending, even when multiple characters die in one episode. So yeah, number 3, Akuma no Riddle, and I probably won't have enough to talk about for my top 2 if I know these two
I already know what
well.
your guys' top 2 are.
So anyway, Zombies number 2.
And my number 2 is Black Bullet. And pretty much what Timmy had said is the show has gotten a lot of crap too. Mainly, like I had said, because of the lollies. And and like I said, there's nothing sexual between the lollies and their so-called partners or anything. Well, they're not called partners. I forgot what they were called. Quote unquote. I think they were called initiators, if I'm right, Timmy. But anyway, point being is that, man, there's nothing sexual or anything like that between these characters other than Inju, and she's not serious. She's just joking, mainly because she knows at one point that she's gonna die, and she's gonna die really young, and so she's just joking and having a good time. And that's the main gripe, I think, with this show. I do agree that sometimes the pacing for this show is incredibly fast. It's like light speed, and I do agree that some of the episodes are not as good as I had hoped they were. But everything else, man, the atmosphere, the fighting in it, and the animation and everything in it is phenomenal. Voice acting in it is great. And the ending was really unexpected.
It was dark.
Yes, it was really unexpected, and it was dark, and it was fucking awesome. I'm sorry. And and that was also another reason why a lot of people got mad at it, is because of that huge little twist there. With what's her name?
Oh God.
Krysa or something like that. I can't remember her name. But she's like one of the love interests for Rentaro. And she goes like pure, not pure evil, but to where she kind of goes like sadistic, to where she like hugs him and is like, I got my revenge. Isn't that just great? And she says it sort of like sarcastically and like sadistically. And it was really weird seeing her like that, but I liked it. But
why I kind of wish the show gets a season 2, because I really want to see more focus on that, because that whole thing of her being evil was out of left field, because the whole show, she was such a nice person and ready to die for Rentaro, and then Psycho Bitch comes out in 13, and then the show ends.
Well, you find out why she got extremely pissed. It's because her fucking brother like pocketed the money, man, to save money on that Verinium thing, just to like cut corners with it and not make it as powerful. And I was like, dude, the whole world's coming to an end, and the thing you're thinking about the most is money instead of helping protect the friggin' damn city. And so I could see why she would get pissed. I don't think he deserved. Well, I think maybe to a point he deserved to at least to be beaten within an inch of his life. I don't think he deserved to die, but
pretty awesome the way
he died. Yeah, dude, it was really cool. But anyway, that's my number 2. On to Pervy's number 2.
Singly, the one show that made me so happy and then so depressed the next. One of the other anime I look forward to on Sundays, Love Live. School Idol Project Season 2.
Leave me something to talk about.
I mean, this show, the new songs were excellent. The animation was still as good as it was. Even with the CG at some points, dancing. I mean, just, there's so many different portions of this show I enjoyed. I mean, as it got towards the end, it got depressing. I mean, this is the only show that made me cry about 3 different times in 3 different episodes. And I mean, like, bad kind of cry, to where my eyes were, like, red for the entire day after that. Like, I was so depressed, I didn't even want to, like, leave my room because I was so, like, I was so sad. And I mean, this show was, in my opinion, wasn't better than last season. The show brought so much more to the characters this season, especially Nozomi. I mean, just it focusing on the third years eventually graduating, Nico, Eri, and Nozomi, and how sad that's going to be. Them competing for Love Live, you know, trying finally beating A-Rise, which, no offense to A-Rise, but Muse is the better of the groups. As much as I did enjoy Shocking Party, that was actually a really good song.
I love that song.
But beyond that, I mean, and the story building, I mean, them, you know, doing training camps. I mean, even like what Zombie said, the filler of the show. I mean, I know there's filler in it, but it was good filler. I mean, it was, even the filler was good in this show, which is really weird, because more of the time, filler sucks.
Please don't pill me. I'm an unripened orange.
That personally was my favorite episode, the Halloween
Oh my
episode.
god.
It was so funny. Going from them wearing the costumes to them imitating each other, which had me in like tears of laughter because it was so good. I mean, Rin imitating Maki, Eri imitating Haneo, and Nozomi imitating Honoka eating a piece of bread with the cake, with icing on the cake. It was so funny.
Dude, now you're gonna make me want cake now.
And then eventually them doing, you know, Dancing Stars on Me, which, excellent song, by the way. Good video. I mean, and with the ending of this show, I know we still have the, you know, the iPhone Android game. And I know with the announcement of the movie, I was hoping that someone would start a petition over to Japan so they would push schools back a whole another year so we could just get a 3rd season. I really wish. Because that's how much more of Love Live I want. Because the show has turned me into such an idol fanatic, it's gotten to be ridiculous. And I mean, I have to thank, you know, one of my friends from California for doing that, because I had originally promised him that when I was going to watch, I told him, you know, you should watch AKB. He's like, you know, you should watch, if you liked AKB, you should watch Love Live. And, you know, it's back at AX13, how I bagged on Love Live for not being good, or how I bagged on Kids on the Slope, which actually really deserved it. I eventually watched Love Live. And it so good. Season 2, so much better. And I mean, with just everything, even with like the last episode, it just left me wanting more. And I know with the movie, I'm not sure that's going to be enough.
And I don't think Lane has anything to talk about.
We might have to go like Poochie Idol or Xenoglossia Idol. I don't know. We have to do something because there's going to be about 1 million people going through withdrawals because of Love Live.
It's like they're cutting up like little pieces of paper with like Love Live characters into powder and just snorting it across their table.
Don't joke about that shit, man. Love Live is serious over in Japan.
So yeah, I don't think you have anything to talk about almost.
No, I left him a lot of stuff to talk about this show. I didn't talk about a lot of it.
So anyway, number 2 for me, Love Live School Idol Project Season 2, which at about halfway, it was below Data Live, to be honest. Just because of the filler that was happening after these preliminaries and everything.
Yeah, man, that's one thing I really didn't care for.
But one thing that lets you know that this is such a great show is the fact that the first volume now holds the record for best sales in Japan.
What was that last? Like 88 million, right?
I think, yeah. But the thing that redeemed this show was from the point when they decided we're going to write a song and everybody's going to be a part of it, which turned out to be Snow Halation. And for anyone that played the Love Live game, the entire time it's playing, you can't get the perfect note out of your head.
Oh, such a good song. The revamped version is so good.
In fact, I know Maki is my favorite character, but my background for my computer is actually Rin during that version of Snow Halation.
Oh, such a good song. It's one of the parts in that show that I bawled my eyes out because I knew it was coming, and they doing it together the way they did. Just it hit home. It was such a good heartwarming thing.
Yeah, but what really got me were like the last 2 or 3 episodes, and you get to the last episode, and they get to, and I'm starting to actually choke up from this. Even just thinking about this, you get to the graduation ceremony, and Honeka's just standing up there, and she's like, I can only express this through song, and then all of a sudden you just see Maki walk up to the piano, sit down, and they start playing Asteru Banzai. The tears just started flowing from my face at that moment.
Same.
I had to cover my mouth from not making noise because this was at midnight and everyone in my house was asleep.
It's about the way it almost went, isn't it?
And then when they're on the roof and Honoka just takes out that mop and writes Muse right on the roof, and they're just like, thank you. And just that episode was just chock full of
the feels, man.
Of great depression. And then when they're at the finals, when they're at the finals, and they finish their first song, and everyone's just like, encore, encore.
Yeah, that was great.
And they come out and perform the first season opening. I still cannot listen to that without tearing up.
I know, same. Bokuru wa ima no nakade.
And the song that they actually performed before the encore was really good. It was a really good upbeat.
Smile.
Yeah, that was a really good upbeat song. I'm kind of glad
I cannot wait for that to come out.
I was glad they did a song like that because they went the whole season without kind of like a rockish type of in your face song, and then they did it, and I was like, yes, yes, yes.
It's just so many great episodes. I would say that the last 4 episodes were better than the first season, but as a whole, the first season was just barely better.
Gosh, this show, oh man. I mean, I'm a man. I'm no man of small stature. I'm like 5'9", 200-something pounds, and it touched my heart to a point where it made me cry. That's how good this show is. It's ridiculous how I kind of now understand what the Japanese and the HK Love Livers go through every time, a live show ends at their hat or a member graduates or something or another. I mean, wow.
I have a feeling like if next year, if we don't have the money to go to AX and they announce that Muse is going to be there, we'll find some way of making like $2,000 to go out there.
Yes.
I have no idea. I will sell half my room in order to go.
But yeah, number 2 is Love Live School Idol Project Season 2. Can't wait for the movie. And the possibility for a 3rd season is there if you actually look at the videos that were made before the series came out. Because if you look at Wonderful Rush, they're at a point where they're just like super idols. So there could be a Season 3. It won't be a school idol project. It might just be Idol Project. So anyway, now time for everybody's number 1.
Number 1, drum roll.
And everyone's going to be in on this one. It ain't just going to be me because we all know what our number one is. It's No Game, No Life. What can I say about this show? It's fucking awesome!
Such high expectations for the show when I first heard about it.
Dude, and you all weren't even going to watch it.
I hadn't watch it.
I had an interest in this show.
Well,
I really didn't know what it was about. It kind of piqued my interest at first, because I really didn't know if it was going to be like, hey, let's drop two kids into a virtual world and have them, just do shit like Sword Art.
Well, no.
Nothing like Sword Art. Thank God.
Well, no. What it relates to more is the problem children are coming from another world.
Yeah, right.
But better.
This turned out to be all our favorite from spring, which is there's a reason for that. I mean, you start off. The OP. Props to young Konami Suzuki. How powerful her voice is at the ripe age of I think 19, 20 now. I think 18, 19, 20 in that area. This game, single-handedly, my favorite opening from this season because it's just such a good opening, especially the full version, the build-up with the piano and her playing that. It blows your mind. And it gets you, super psyched for what's going to happen in the episode.
So that's your guys' number one. My number one has to be Is the Order of Rabbit. That was such a great show, and it could possibly be the worst anime ever. I'm just kidding. No Game, No Life was actually...
Wait a minute. No Game, No Life wasn't even in your top 10?
No, he was trolling us.
Yeah, I was about to say, no, what the hell are you talking about, bro?
That's why you gotta listen to my entire speech.
I'm sorry.
Put it this way, the Order of Rabbit should never be a question on anyone's DVD shelf.
But,
oh, I know what you're talking about now, okay.
But No Game, No Life, just a better version of are the problem children coming from another world, right? It just...
Everything about this show is amazing.
The characters, the music, the strategy involved with this.
Not just that, man, the art style, too, is really great with
yes.
the red outline.
And for
the references in the show, Doraemon, JoJo, Ava... Steins Gate, Persona. I mean, I could go on. And
Mirai Nikki.
Yes, that is true.
And then, I've had it, and then characters. He had, for anybody that did not like this show, I only have one statement for you, and that's stop being such a Steph.
Yes.
Exactly, because minus, Jibril, even, Shiro. Steph, to me, best girl. I love Steph. She's funny, she's weird, she's not the brightest of all the girls there, but the fact that the stuff that she does makes her funny, that's what got her to be my best girl, because she was just so good.
I'm sorry, but I think Shiro's best.
For me, it went Jibril, Steph, Inuza, then Shiro.
How can you put Shiro so low? She's amazing.
But the margin between all four of them is so narrow, you couldn't slide a piece of paper through
it. Shiro is good for many reasons. The fact that she can play RPGs with her feet. I mean, come on, how cool is that?
The fact that she's Konata's daughter.
Yeah, right?
So
best episode in this series, though. Best episode. Materialization Shiratori. When they first fight Jibril. Holy crap, that episode was amazing.
And of course, Jibril, voiced by the wonderful Yukari Tomota.
I hate her voice.
Anyone that doesn't like Yukari Tomota needs to just go.
Stop
Go,
being a
go get
Steph.
yourself a nice boat.
But yeah, that was just such a great episode. And that final episode when they're playing in virtual Tokyo.
Mm-hmm.
Dude.
And by the way, that reference, virtual gun gal.
Gal, yeah.
Yes.
Gal gun from
Yeah.
Japan.
Yeah, man, we see.
Go figure they put that reference in there. And it wasn't like when that final episode came out, we saw that exact same game at Phoenix ComiCon.
Yes, we
Yeah.
did.
So somebody somewhere was like, you know what? We saw this. We're gonna do this in this last episode.
But yeah, I would have to agree that was probably the best battle. But I'll tell you what, man, those battles, they are all excellent.
Mm-hmm.
Every one of them. And
So you know we're like weeks away from getting the announcement for Season 2. You know that, right?
dude, the way
I
the
was hoping
season
to
left
get
off,
season.
I was like, oh my god, we need more of this.
Because I know the manga, I think the manga's still running in Japan. And speaking of that, that's supposed to come out here, like September, October?
October.
I think it was
and
October.
And there's not even that much of the manga.
October, 7 Seas, thank you. You know, most of my manga collection from you guys, so as much as I want to kiss your asses.
Makes the best Yuri manga, by the way.
Spread the cheeks. It's time to suck the greatness out of your asshole.
Teach me your secrets, ass.
But, yeah, just everything about the show was so good. The character development, like the story. One thing I actually found out, the one god that brought them there, Tet.
Yeah, Tet.
Reference to Tetra.
is voiced by our very famous tsundere.
Oh yeah. No way. Don't tell me it's Rei Kugamiya.
Yeah, actually.
What?
It is.
Really? It is Rei Kugamiya?
Yeah, I looked up who were all the characters. I'm like, there's no effing way. It doesn't even sound like her.
Dude, it doesn't even sound like her, man.
I'm so used to hearing her as like a tsundere with like Taiga, Louise, Shauna, blah blah blah. But
Ruby.
it could go on for days.
Yeah, that and
Oh yeah,
Ruby.
and by the way, I do have Shiro above Fee and the other girl.
I love
So,
Yeah, man, I would have to say that the differences between them all is literally as thin as like a sheet of paper, pretty much.
mhm.
But with the ending, that's one show that
It's such a
one
fucking
of the
cock
main
tease.
shows that I think deserves a second season. If this does not get another season, I will just be so severely saddened and disappointed in the anime community.
I agree.
And I mean, this show has to make money. Please let the show make money, because even I know now Sentai Filmworks has this, and it just does not make a grip of money over here. I will be so disappointed in our fan base
Well,
for the rest of the days.
based on the reaction from our panel that we did at Phoenix ComiCon, this is going to sell well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The fact that you had so many people pissed off that we did not have this number one overall when we did the panel, even though that's definitely changed now.
Yeah, it's definitely taken number one overall.
Yeah, it has.
But
And the thing was, it was only 2 spots off.
Mm-hmm.
And it was number 3.
hmm but anyway,
My goodness.
that is our top
They're
10.
top 10 for spring.
So anyway, our next segment is on to AX, and speaking of that really quick, I do have some breaking news that came out from J-List. This is actually from Jast. Jast USA announces a new game, Kona Okai, the remake of Kona Little Sister. This is the new game from Jast USA. The remake of Kona Little Sister. So anyway, and going to that, we all know, of course, that this is AX weekend.
I've been really expecting Jazz to announce when Shiny Days is coming out. Because I know that's going to be like your top seller as soon as it comes out.
Well,
Because that's
let
like
me...
the sequel to School Days.
Are you close to the mic? If so, move back a little bit.
Yeah, that is the only announcement to come through J-List since their panel started.
Yeah, like I said, AX this weekend. AX this weekend. I don't know. They have another panel this weekend. Who knows? Kind of. I know we're all kind of sad that we're not at AX this year as much as we wanted to go. I hope everyone there has a great time, has a blast. Live it up. Expo's the top of the mountain for conventions. So.
And from what it sounds like, the director for TaioCon, and one of our good friends, is hanging out with the president of Nitro Plus at the moment.
No shit, really, man? Greg is?
No.
Oh, Tayo. Okay, so yeah, then it's friggin' Michael.
He's hanging out with the president of Nitro Plus.
Ooh, wow.
Lucky bastard.
Wonder what he's doing there.
He's trying to get the voice actor for Sonico to come to Taio.
Dude, that'd be so sick. Yes, that'd be so sick. That and
You have no idea. I'd be bowing before.
I wish somebody would cosplay as a super Pak Chow.
Speaking of cosplay, we haven't seen too much in the way of cosplay as of yet for.
And if you're following Aaron Fitzgerald, there's a lot.
He's still following her.
Her. But she talks a lot about Chie, though. In fact, she actually has a picture of 9 people cosplayed as Chie standing right next to each other.
Let's go grab some steak.
But yeah, there really hasn't been a whole lot, though, for AX, as Timmy has said. There really hasn't been that much.
Sentai posted characters for Black Bullet.
Oh, yes, I did see that. I thought that was pretty good cosplay, actually.
I didn't like the way the guy looked. He kind of didn't look right for the part.
Well,
but
I'd agree, but it's still cool, though, to see it.
Since I haven't watched the series, I think it was the Enju was the girl.
Yes, and she looks really good.
Yep.
Yes, she looks spot on, pretty much.
And what do you call it? Oh, yeah.
Props to a group of girls who will cosplay Muse this weekend, because you will be best cosplayers in my book.
Just wait till the video comes out that has the cosplay in it.
And actually,
Mamoru-san.
what do you call it? I haven't seen that many Kill la Kill cosplays yet.
Yeah, not many yet.
But then again, though, man, there's going to be like 50,000 people.
It's tomorrow.
It's still Friday. So.
Yeah, it's true.
Tomorrow is going to be the busy day, so.
You'll have some. You'll have a lot of Kill la Kill. You have a lot of Kill la Kill and Sword Art tomorrow.
Oh boy.
And then hopefully Saturday you'll have a lot of Sailor Moon.
Yes. Dude, words cannot describe how excited I am.
So yeah, today's only Thursday, so we still have like a couple more days to go.
Yeah, that is true. Oh yeah, like Viz shat in our fucking cereal bowl today.
Yeah, Viz had their panel today. They announced quite a bit. Most importantly, first and foremost, Viz has pretty much a quarter of the dub cast for Gargantua and the Brutus Planet, which, super hype. Sort of, because, they announced the dub, was not actually expecting it to get a dub. He said, I didn't know if it was popular enough.
Yes.
But, props to Viz.
I agree.
Big license from today for Viz, as we all heard from the rumor in the on Amazon. They have indeed inquired for JoJo's Part 1 and Part 2. Unfortunately, JoJo's Part 1 comes out digitally. Okay, I know everyone's subscribed digitally. It's not fair to people who read hard copy though, because the hard copy of it comes out in February of next year. So it's the same with 2, if I remember. Part 2 will be released. Part 2 will be released digitally first, and then it'll be released shortly after that, which is unfortunate because it's going to take a long time for it to come out then. And I heard that they're also going to have Part 3 Stardust Crusaders, part volume 1 and 2 digitally also. So, beyond the JoJo license, we have the guy who directed Inferno Cop. He's going to be directing Trigger's Ninja Slayer anime. So
Yes.
we'll see how goofy that's going to be, because from what I've seen in Inferno Cop, it's absolutely ridiculous.
It is pretty ridiculous.
We'll find out how funny that's going to be. And big news, I think Dark Horse is finally stepping up their manga game. They added the painting stock manga. So that's going to be interesting to see that in manga form now. And let's hope it's as actually as lewd and mean as the actual show was. But as for that, not much happened on Expo Day 1. Beyond, just some other stuff, which we'll get to here in our next segment.
And with that, we'll be back here in just a minute.